Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, we're going to react to the F15 Eagle, the most badass jet of all time. Now, is it the most badass jet of all time? There have been some really incredible fighter jets. I mean, for me personally, like the F22 is the king for sure, both in performance, aesthetic, ability. It's just amazing. What else? You know, you've got the Sukhoi, I think the 23. That one's very impressive. The numbers it can put out. You know, the Eurofighter Typhoon is a phenomenal plane. But you know, I've not been in the military, so I don't know. Like the F15, I'm guessing in terms of longevity, the missions it's been on. You know, it's probably like, in terms of the amount of action it's seen, it's probably the top dog. And who better than the fat electrician to give me the rundown as to why it's the #1 jet fighter of all time.
Today we're talking about the most gangster fighter jet of all time, the F15 Eagle.
Does look very cool though. That silhouette, the shot from underneath. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the American muscle car equivalent of a fighter jet. Developed during the Cold War in the early 1970s, it was designed to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to establish air superiority. And being that this was the 1970s and stealth technology wasn't going to come out for another decade, Uncle Sam had to rely on good old-fashioned horsepower and gunpowder. He figured if you couldn't be sneaky enough to go unnoticed, you just had to be fast enough to go untouched. And that is exactly what they did with the F-15, because it is equipped with two Pratt & Whitney F100 engines, totaling 19,200 horsepower, which is like 800,000 water chickens. This plane can travel at a max speed of Mach 2.5, which is roughly 1,900 miles an hour. And here's the kicker, it's not just fast, it's quick. And if you don't know the difference, I'll elaborate. You can build up speed slowly and be fast, but being quick is the ability to be fast in a hurry. And the F-15 is like a drag car. It is fast the minute you hit the throttle. So fast, in fact, that you can argue that it could be classified as a rocket. Okay, hear me out, I'm gonna nerd out for a second. Generally speaking, aircrafts need to do two things to fly. They need to generate lift and thrust. They need to generate enough lift to counteract gravity, so the physical weight of the aircraft, and they need to generate enough thrust to counteract drag. But here's the thing with the F-15, it has a greater than 1 thrust to weight ratio, meaning that it can generate enough pounds of thrust to offset drag and the weight of the aircraft, meaning it doesn't need to generate lift to sustain flight.
I'm guessing that's because it's quite a light plane. Probably, right? I don't know. I'm guessing.
Is what a fucking rocket does. If you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you the F-15 doesn't need to generate lift, it can just beat the atmosphere into submission. The F-15 could literally have its wings chopped off in mid-flight and it would still be able to fly. And I can already hear the comment section now. Buh! The chubby electron guy's so dumb he needs to go back to high school physics class. That's not how any of this works. Buh. No, that's exactly how this works, and guess what? If you don't want to believe me and what's theoretically possible on paper, you don't have to, because this has already happened in real life. In 1983, an F-15 had a mid-air collision, completely lost one wing, and then proceeded to fly 10 more miles and then land safely. Okay, and if that's not enough proof that it's basically a rocket, you can look at how an F-15 takes off.
How on earth did it stay straight though? Like, I'm guessing it just had enough speed that it was just being forced to go in a straight line, because don't the wings act as a counterbalance to keep the thing going in the right direction?
I'll show you the footage. The minute it clears the runway, it goes straight vertical and breaks the sound barrier. It is one of the only planes on the planet that can do that.
I love watching planes do that. Just that
well, even if it is that fast, common sense dictates that they had to make a bunch of design compromises, and I bet the F-15 has hardly any firepower because of it. You know what? For once, you're right. That is what common sense would dictate, because that's what every other country does. If they want to go really fast, they either have to sacrifice firepower or maneuverability. However, here's what you're not taking into consideration. This is America. We don't make cents. We make dollars, and this thing has more firepower than any other fighter jet in the American fleet. Yeah, more bombs.
I love that. This is America. We make dollars, not cents.
Or missiles, and on the off chance that isn't enough, it's also equipped with an M61 Vulcan 20mm Gatling cannon in case it needs to tell somebody to get fucked at 6,000 rounds per minute.
That thing sounded like a bus.
So just so we're all on the same page, even though the F-15 is over 50 years old, it is still the fastest and most heavily armed fighter jet in the American fleet. And did I mention that it can...
Really? it's faster than an F-22 or an F-35. No way.
Go like 3,000 miles without needing to refuel, meaning that it's also extremely versatile logistically speaking, because it can fly from America to Europe without needing aerial refueling. And here's the kicker, none of that is the reason it's the most gangster fighter jet of all time. It's the most gangster fighter jet of all time because this thing is the epitome of a pro gamer move. It has a real world combat record of 104-0. It has downed 104 enemy aircrafts and been shot down 0 times in return. It is the only aircraft to lose a wing, continue flying, and land safely. It's the only aircraft to ever shoot down a satellite while it was still in outer space. Yeah, America did that during the Cold War. We shot down one of our own spy satellites to send a message to the Soviet Union that we could do it to their satellites too. And my personal favorite, it is the only aircraft to ever score an air-to-air kill using a bomb. Not an air-to-air missile, a bomb. Yeah, in 1991 during Desert Storm, it actually hit a moving Mi-24 Hind helicopter with a GBU-10 bomb. Yeah, this one. That is a 2,000-pound general-purpose bomb, and it just hit a moving helicopter with it. That is absolutely unheard of. In conclusion, while the F-15 is no longer the best fighter jet on the planet because it's been replaced by the F-22 Raptor, I feel pretty confident in saying that it will go down in history as the greatest fighter jet of all time. And that history is still being written because America is coming out with another F-15, the F-15EX Eagle II. And that's going to have to be its own video some other time. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
Wow. For me, the most mind-blowing thing is that the F-15 is still the fastest plane. Like, really? Is the F-15 Eagle really faster than the F-22 in terms of top speed? Like, maybe in terms of acceleration, but top speed, really? If it is, that's insane. You know, for a 50-year-old plane, like he said, that is just absolutely incredible. You know, it's a testament to the design. Because, you know, when this thing was being designed, they didn't have, you know, CAD and all of this like high-tech, you know, systems to help them design and do all the calculations and stuff. They were using, you know, rulers, pen and paper. Like everything was done manually. There was no computer-assisted like design and things like that. So yeah, testament to the designers and the engineers. Absolutely incredible plane. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.